folks, and welcome to Garbage Theatre. Tonight's installment, Body Melt, the next phase of our Garbage Theatre Vomit Comet. I'm your host, Chase, with our co-hosts, Blake and John.
Yellow.
Phase 2.
John.
I was expecting an apology instead of you saying phase 2.
An apology?
Yeah.
You straight up broke the porn rule.
Okay, come on. Inadvertent. How can I know? I can't know.
Oh my, it was bound to happen, folks, I guess.
There's literally like one frame of pornography in this movie, and now I'm getting shit about it.
Oh, there's more than one frame.
We're going to get to a movie. This was going to slip in some full-blown penetration. And here it is. Frickin' Body Melt. Thanks,
so
Australia.
I guess this goes without saying, because we did get some angry comments, so we should say, yeah, you may not want to listen to this one.
Yeah, if this is something you listen to with your children on your way to school in the morning.
First off, you're probably a pretty bad parent to begin with.
Yeah. We should call child services on you.
But secondly, play something else.
Go back and listen to Desert Heat again.
Yeah, there you go. Happy times.
Lordy, what? Oh my God. Australia.
Yeah, come on. Let's blame the real culprits here. It's that continent of criminals, Australia.
It wasn't as bad as The Suckling was in terms of, oh my God, what am I seeing?
Right.
But it wasn't much better.
I think that, The Suckling was just, it was just uncomfortable all around.
Yeah.
This one, it had some uncomfortable parts, but it wasn't like terribly uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was just...
Except for when the porn started.
Get out. Come on.
You gotta be doing this on purpose. Like, there's no way. You can't convince me that all this is just by accident. And then whenever we say something, it's like, oh, come on, guys. No.
This one absolutely was by accident. And it's like a one frame. It's like Tyler Durden snuck one frame into the movie.
Well, I just want to know what.
It's
what
the
went
worst
through your
possible
mind?
angle, though.
Yeah. What went through your mind the second you saw that on screen?
Well, you know what's funny is Chase and I were kind of watching the movie at the same time, but we were in different places.
Yeah.
So
right.
I was a bit behind, and Chase texted me and said, "John, full-on penetration."
Yeah.
So the part where the Neanderthal daughter was cramming some pipe up a guy's butt, I thought that's what he was talking about. And then a few minutes later, this happens, and I'm like, "Oh no, that's what he was talking about."
Yeah, the pipe, that didn't count.
Okay.
I wouldn't have reacted like that for that. But let's not leave the audience in the dark here. Let's take them through this nightmare that we went through as well.
Right.
Oh, boy. Okay, so we open up to an Australian infomercial telling us that in this go-go 90s lifestyle, you owe it to yourself to get all the nourishment, energy, and sensational pleasure your body deserves. And where can you find all these things? At Vimuville, of course.
Yes. Catchy name.
A state-of-the-art health spa that they apparently think that you should spend your family's entire yearly vacation at. I mean, look at this banquet of colorless gray food.
Look at this pool. It's so big. It's the size of your living room.
It's really not that spectacular of a place.
No.
It's like the pool at the Holiday Inn and the gym at the Holiday Inn.
Well, I did see on the credits they thanked some hotel. So I'm assuming all that was filmed at just some random hotel.
Yeah, it was just a flat out plain Jane Australian Outback hotel.
Yeah.
The end. Well, The techno ramps up, and so do the injections.
I was like, oh, this is a classic 90s edge.
Yeah.
Needles squirting everywhere, techno music going.
A sweaty man and a sweaty woman lay on what's surely to be by now a disgusting leather couch, injecting each other with highlighter fluid. Their veins start to bulge, and then some glop on the screen spells out body melt. And some, I guess, is supposed to be a interesting practical effect here.
Yeah,
it's like the Thing opening.
Yeah.
Later, the woman is talking on the phone to someone, and she's telling them that don't worry, she's fixed Ryan. She's given him a going away present that'll keep him from getting too far. You have to assume Ryan is the guy in the thing. He's in another scene accessing his computer in a cutaway, and then the woman tells the guy that she's on the phone with that she's pumped him full enough A59 to kill 20 Rottweilers. He won't make it till morning.
I wish she would have said Rottweiler.
Yeah.
But she said Rottweilers.
Rottweilers. That's a rare Australian breed of Rottweiler.
Yeah.
So, cut to the RoboWar robot as he applies his MS Paint vision filter and takes us on a guided tour of Holmesville Pebbles Court. It goes house to house, showing these little cartoon houses, and it says, the Noble family is being videotaped. Okay.
Yeah.
Cheryl and Brian Rand have a confirmed pregnancy. Sal Sassone and Gino Argento are sperm donors. And Paul Matthews is taking his vitamins. Detailed notes.
I have no idea what, to this day, I have no idea what they're doing here. Like, I have a lot of questions about, like, the quote plot of this movie. Like,
not to skip ahead, but yeah, it's this pharmaceutical factory plant that's disguising themselves as a spa that's targeted this Australian suburban cul-de-sac to experiment on.
And I'm already tired of it.
This is them running their simulations, I guess. So Paul Matthews is the first target. Ryan writes Paul's address on his arm because it would be too hard for him to remember the number 9.
No, what was he going there for anyway?
No, that's a good question. That's a damn good question. I never thought of that.
Yeah, I think he was going to warn them that they were being targeted for experimentation.
So why is he banging the boss lady on the couch?
And freely and wantingly getting injections.
Yeah, super don't know. Really don't know.
So
I'm not even sure she's like a villain. Like, ultimately,
again, not to jump ahead, but they didn't know that this drug wasn't going to work.
But she did. She gave him enough to kill him.
Right.
Well, she overdosed him, but in the real amount, as far as they knew, was going to work and be this miracle drug.
What's it supposed to do, though?
Turn you into a big beefcake muscly man with a little girl voice?
I don't know if that was the intended thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what their goal was.
I don't know.
I feel like you're supposed to assume most of the time that it's nefarious, that they're trying to, I don't know, market some deadly drug to the world. But
yeah, they're trying to melt people on purpose, but they're not. All I can say is I wish every goddamn movie that we watch got a brief synopsis by the RoboWar robot, so I didn't have to guess at the names of all these fucking people the entire movie. They throw a mountain of characters at us right out of the gate. Ryan goes to his car, and as he's leaving, he burns his key card to the lab and tosses it on the ground before driving away. And we get a close-up of his photo ID bubbling up in the fire. Foreshadowing, anyone?
You know, it's kind of a nice touch. Like, the filmmaking in this is like way better than what we're used to, I think, on the show.
Yeah, I mean, it was, the early 90s looking movie.
Yeah, but it was a real ass movie.
Not a camcorder fucking YouTube movie.
Right.
I hope y'all remembered all the details on that ID before it burned up.
I wrote them all down. But let's see if I can
I'll tell you
recall them.
this. I was really paying attention to details for the first quarter of this movie, and then I quit giving a shit because, my God, was there a lot of shit in this movie.
There was. It was easy for me to come up with so many bullshit questions.
So much bullshit. I knew at one point I just said, there's no point because I'm going to have more notes on what questions could be than actual notes talking about the freaking movie. So I just gave up.
This movie was made for me.
So at Pebbles Court, the next morning, Paul walks out and gets these vitamin powder samples from Vimuville out of his mailbox. As Sal and Gino next door are loading up their car, the father of the Noble family exits his home to go jogging. Cut to a gas station where Ryan pulls up. He pulls out a map and finds Holmesville on it. He pops some pills, enters the station. He asks the clerk where the detergent is, as he starts to look a little worse for wear. He pops open a bottle and just starts chugging it down. The origins of the Tide Pod challenge here, folks.
But they never explain. I mean, we know that he's been given a fatal dose of this vitamin or whatever. But I have no idea what the detergent was supposed to do.
Yeah, is that supposed to slow down the? I don't know. But
I like how he just took to spraying it into his gaping wounds at one point.
That was pretty gross.
So, as he does this, the clerk freaks out. He grabs a can of bug spray and a crowbar to defend himself as Ryan runs out of the store, leaking from his face. He speeds away, narrowly missing some old ladies that are out speed walking. And
that was funny.
Spotted by the cops. This is where his neck starts to rip open, and he just starts spraying the last remnants of the detergent in there. It's going to do something, I guess. He speeds into Holmesville as Brian and Cheryl are looking out the window because they can hear the sirens. The cops chase him into the cul-de-sac, and we get the tagline of the movie as Ryan takes out a tape recorder and speaks into it. The first phase is hallucinogenic. The second phase is glandular. The third phase is, wow!
Oh, God!
Ryan speeds into a parked real estate van and rockets through the windshield. As he lays on the hood of his car, tubes erupt from his neck holes and start going into his mouth and nose, which seems redundant.
Yeah, why is it coming back out just to go back in?
Right.
What are these tentacles? What's their game?
Yeah.
Stupid parasite.
If that's what it even is.
Yeah.
Is it like a little bug thing?
I don't know.
So the cops approach him, guns drawn, as Paul watches from the window, completely uninterested, and goes back to his vitamin drinks.
He's like, that's weird.
A melting man just got catapulted through his windshield. Regular day.
In what world would anybody ever just consume something that came in the mail, like, that they didn't order or whatever? Like, oh, hey, some packets.
Yeah.
I would never do that.
And then, like, what got me was he has the packets. He has 3 of them. Whenever he makes the drink with them, he opens all 3 packets and puts them into a glass of water.
Ignoring all of the directions.
Yeah.
Let's go for this.
Yeah, exactly.
He goes balls deep into use these vitamins.
Yeah, you deserve every bit of milk that you get.
So, a pair of detectives pull up later, maybe a few seconds from now. Who the hell knows?
We'll call it 20 minutes.
The detectives start questioning all the neighbors. However, they seem to just be letting everyone go with any excuse they have.
Not only that, everybody's just like milling about the crime scene. Like, there's people leaning against the car where the douche is laying on the hood. They're just hanging out.
Yeah, just taking selfies with his neck wound and everything.
Yeah.
Could you ask? This is a question. Oh no, I have somewhere I gotta to be somewhere. Maybe, possibly. Oh, I'll get out of here, you.
Guy.
Yeah, you've obviously got bigger fish to fry.
You old so and so. We'll solve this crime on your time.
You're a real piece of work, you know that?
So the detective finds Ryan's tape recorder and listens to his final words. Cut to the airport where Paul is starting to feel a bit strange himself. He sits in the terminal looking at the airport regulars, street punks, crazy bag ladies, men reading pornography right out in the open.
I mean, this movie's getting a lot right about airports.
So the bag lady starts to glow with a bright light. And remember, folks, the first phase is hallucinogenic. His cell phone rings and he answers, now seeing that the bag lady has vanished. And by the one-sided conversation we get, apparently whoever he was there to pick up isn't going to show. So he gets all pissed off.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, like, I feel like this would have been more effective had we seen, like, Ryan's first phase, his hallucinogenic phase. He just
whatever made him want to start chugging Downy.
Yeah, or something. I don't know.
I just wish we knew what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great. It seems to affect everybody differently.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
This is the only person, I think, that has hallucinations, right?
I think so. Thinking about it, yeah.
Anyway.
Well, no. Cheryl has hallucinations. Oh, wait, no, does she?
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll get to it. Cut to Sal and Gino. They're driving out to this health spa where Gino knows a girl that works there. They're gearing up for a weekend of relaxation, women, and sperm donations.
These guys really need to learn that there are things that are too good to be true.
They're into it big time.
Yeah, can you believe this hot chick wants us to come out and eat food and jack off and we're going to get paid for it? Like, that's never going to happen, sir.
Meanwhile, Paul's having a cup of coffee at the airport cafe when he looks up and he sees this battered woman sitting across from him asking for a cigarette. There's nonstop spoon clinking noises in the background, which I thought was a nice little device to show that this is odd. I don't know. I liked it.
I didn't notice that.
And she tells him about
all the sound effects are like on 11 in this movie.
Oh yeah, everything's cranked up. She tells him about her no-good man who beats her, and she asks for a place to stay when she suddenly vanishes. Back to Gino and Sal, still driving. It's revealed that their car has no windshield, just an opaque painting tarp with a hole punched in it.
Yeah, and it wasn't like that in the driveway.
No, it wasn't.
And it wasn't like that in the previous shot that we saw of them.
No. So, like, I'm wondering, at first, as soon as I saw it, I was like, wait, did the guy go through their windshield? But that doesn't make sense. He went through his own windshield.
Yeah, but it's still...
I was just so confused by that.
If he went through their... Well, knowing those detectives, they probably would have let them drive away with the car that the dude flew through.
Yeah. But it's all okay because they passed by a sign that says windscreen.
Oh, yeah, conveniently.
Oh, yeah, I mean, come on. Like, you can't have them break their windscreen off screen and then have a reason to go. Like,
there are tons of reasons you could have gotten them to pull over.
Yeah. Like, if they fucking
like the reason they give that they're lost.
Yeah. It's not
they
even.
Didn't go there for a windscreen. They didn't go there for a windshield. They went there because they were lost.
But also, the windshield got broken. Maybe it's just such a commonplace occurrence in Australia that, like, they didn't feel the need to explain it.
Those rogue boomerangs flying around and whatnot.
Yeah, who knows?
Also, my fault for not pointing it out whenever we first introduced these characters. We're made to believe that they're teenagers and their parents aren't home. These dudes are 45 years old.
Yeah. Cut to a grimy auto shop where this whole movie starts going downhill.
Yeah, up to this point, it was pretty kind of regular.
Straightforward,
like, things were moving along, and I was like, okay, it's kind of a movie here.
Yeah.
But at this part, it just went batshit for batshit's sake.
Exactly. We see the owner feeding sea monkeys to his pet fish as he sings Deep Purple's Highway Star with murderous intent. Sal and Gino pull up behind a 3-legged dog and ask the mechanic for directions. Again, didn't go there for the windshield. The mechanic tells them that they're in a one-horse town called Nowhere before he squeals like a pig and his mutant monster children, Bab and Bronto, come shambling out of their hovels. The mechanic says that his name is Pud, as Bab comes running up behind him and spits on a cockatoo wearing underwear that says sexy on them. I just said that, folks.
Yeah.
Them spitting at the bird was kind of funny.
They have a pet cockatoo that wears underwear that says sexy written on him. I'm giving you the visuals. So
I think people who own birds are weird.
Oh, 100%.
Well,
Like
if this
I've never
movie's
known
any,
a person. Wait, what?
I said if this movie's any, example.
Well, like I've had a few friends that have had birds. Every one of them's thrown off.
Well, birds are strange animals, first of all, and like they're meant to fly. Let them fly.
Just, I don't know what it is. Just strange people have the need to have a bird, and I can't be convinced otherwise that normal people have birds. We may lose listeners again.
Add bird people to the list.
Yeah. Bird owners. They're out.
Yeah, you're weird. You're weird. The only cool time I saw a bird, like I didn't know the person. I was at somebody's house and they had a parrot on their front porch across the street. And me and my friend were having a conversation on the porch, and from across the street, that parrot just keeps yelling, "Hey, bitch! Hey, bitch!" And like I was like, "Well, that's fine.
That's fine. That's an acceptable.
Finally, an appropriate use of a pet bird."
Yeah. Other than that, though, no good uses.
So Pud invites them all to sit down to have a bite to eat. They all sit down, and out comes Roberta Zadar.
Oh my god!
She comes out. To take their order because she's the waitress apparently at this auto shop.
They have servers here for some reason.
But then she calls for Mac, this other deformed old woman who comes out. Each one of these people more precious than the last. She takes their order and instantly drops 2 plates of something in front of Sal and Gino. It looked like fried eggs and pizza. I don't know. Cut to Paul, who's now asleep at a radio station. Or is he? I don't know.
What is his job?
The first phase is hallucinogenic. I'm starting to get pissed off at this movie. Don't do this movie where every scene I'm going to be guessing if this is real or not. Please don't do this. A woman working there tells him that he ought to take the rest of the day off and that a man from the CIB was looking for him. So he drives home where the crime scene is still in full swing. He walks inside and the battered woman from the airport's still there. And he directs her to go to the spare room, and she vanishes right in front of him. Cut to later, maybe, I don't know. He's in bed now, and the woman comes into the bedroom, no longer beaten and bruised. She stands over him and starts to massage his solar plexus before digging her fingers into his gut, and then he awakens from the nightmare alone. Okay, so he's having full-blown freak-out hallucinations. Cut back to
maybe
Wrong
if
Turn.
you wouldn't have put all that Kool-Aid in your water.
Cut back to the movie Wrong Turn, where
Wrong Turn Australia edition.
Yeah, where Mrs. Adar is hitting on Sal and Gino. Gino goes to find Pud to ask about the progress on the windshield. The 2 mutant children run off into a field, and Gino and Sal follow them, because why wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
They come across the realest-looking kangaroo you've ever seen.
This is the beginning of the best scene.
As Bronto, the daughter, lets out this demonic rasp that makes the kangaroo go, "What the shit is that?"
Did you guys see Bone Tomahawk? Because like this is like the sound of the natives making Bone Tomahawk. It's very weird.
She makes this noise. The kangaroo looks up. She chucks a rock at it, knocking it out dead.
Yeah.
as all
you gotta
four
understand
of them.
though, like it's really funny because so they have this crappy looking kangaroo, but they at least had the common sense to put it way in the background, like it's far off in the distance.
Yeah.
And she hurls this rock, and then it cuts to that shot of this kangaroo, and it waits a beat, and then just kind of falls over.
Just falls over.
And then all four of them like go batshit crazy cheering. It's the best thing they've ever seen. So they run over, and Bab starts like slicing into the kangaroo and cuts out its adrenal gland. He slices it in half, gives half of it to Bronto, and they eat it and just start going. It's cats on catnip. The Gino and the two mutants hop into this truck and start doing donuts around this little ring that they have, screaming about how they're high on psycho jelly.
What the fuck?
Sal, however, decides he's going to go put the moves on Mrs. Zadar. So he's off with her, and she runs off.
Why, though? Like...
Because she's there. Because she has a pulse.
Okay, you're going to a place that supposedly has all this stuff waiting for you. And you're gonna waste you're gonna get rid of the easy one with that.
It's very weird. Like this is not the direction at this point. This is not the direction that I thought that this, part of the movie was gonna go.
And
like everyone's just having a great time.
Oh yeah, they're loving it.
I started becoming concerned because I didn't know if it was a man playing this part or if there's a girl that really looked like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a girl.
But the arms on that thing had to be a dude.
I don't know. And it seemed like the only makeup they even put on her was like a brow.
Yeah, she definitely had that thick brow. Yeah.
Yeah. She had that Michael Phelps jawline, though.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, but it's like normally the guys would be like progressively more freaked out by their strange behavior, and it'd be played for comedy that they're resisting the advances of this Neanderthal woman. But like they're just like having they're enjoying the joyride and the kangaroo murder, and now one of them's decided to fuck the Neanderthal. Like,
screw the jerk off spa. This place has everything.
It's got it all. Why leave?
I don't know. I guess I just expect a 45-year-old to have better decision-making skills.
So, yeah, she runs off with him to some shack that they've got on the property. Back with the detectives for a minute. They're heading out to the health farm to ask questions about Ryan's death because they found a bottle of pills with the name, the Vimuville name on it. Back to the auto yard. Can't leave the auto yard for too long. We have to spend at least 10 on-screen hours there. Gino and Zadar are getting it on in the shed as styrofoam is raining down on them.
Yeah. Yeah, the bird was doing it.
I don't know.
You didn't see that?
No.
Yeah, the bird was up in the rafters and had a bag full of styrofoam that it was opening.
I didn't see that. That went right by me.
Oh, yeah.
So
him in his sexy underwear was just...
Sexy Draws parrot is adding to the ambiance of this Cro-Magnon bang fest in the shed.
You saw that too, right, John?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
First I thought I entered the first phase for a second. Y'all all saw that bird raining down styrofoam, right?
You better check those random packets you got in the mail.
Oh, God, it's going glandular.
Oh, my glands.
So Bab then takes Gino through a secret door into the house. And why wouldn't you follow him through a secret door? And this house is a hoarder's wet dream.
Yeah.
It's just knickknacks and bullshit all over the place. And Gino spots a picture on the wall of Pud looking like a normal human being in a lab coat. Bab says that he used to work at this germ factory or something. And they hear a scream. Bab runs out. Meanwhile, in the bang shed, Miss Zadar is ramming this 6-foot-long pipe into Sal's crotch. Just ramming it up there and chomping into his neck. Gino continues to explore the house when he hears panting from the next room he's in. Here we go, folks.
This is it.
Here it comes. He enters the room and he sees the three-legged dog sitting there, and he pets the dog. He's like, "Hi, little doggy." And then he looks over at the TV, and there it is. The worst angle that you could ever see, just balls and ass.
Yep. The Erotonomicon strikes again for the second movie in a row.
It's on the screen for like 2 seconds max. And these boys are over here acting like they ain't never seen porn before.
It's enough.
It was on the screen, and it was horrible.
The dog was panting really loud. And I was like, oh, it must be because of the porn.
Well, he sees it, and he sits down. And when he sits down, he realizes that he sits on this old lady that's sitting in the house, watching the porn, with just 1,000-yard stare on her face.
The old lady was played by Stephen Baldwin.
So he sees her, freaks out, runs from the house terrified. As he's running by, Bronto pops out of a window and grabs him, and he just pops her in the face, which I got a little chuckle out of.
I got a kick out of that, too.
Bab runs to tell Pud that Slab, which is the name of the Neanderthal girl, has done it again, and she comes out of the shed with blood gushing from her mouth. Pud slugs her in the face and tells her, "How many times have I told you? You keep it in the family." And that explains that.
What is it, like you only kill family?
No, they're all inbred.
Okay.
Okay, John, come on.
Well, I mean, okay, I get it, but, you know, she still killed him. That's the big problem.
I figured somebody I figured a man so well versed in smut would know incest porn when he saw it.
But like I said, the problem doesn't arise from her having sex with a non-family member. It's the murder. The murder is the real issue here.
But if she just would have had sex with her brother like she's supposed to.
Well, she was getting the sex pipe in position. It's just he just couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
That's how they do it.
Everybody knows you need to be eating adrenal glands to take that kind of pipe.
Gino makes a run for the truck, and Pud hears it starting up, but he just kind of slowly smiles and continues singing Highway Star. Gino then realizes, unfortunately, that the truck can only drive in a circle as Pud and the gang slowly approach. Cut to the detectives, mercifully saving us from this set piece as they arrive at the health spa.
But that's the last we ever see of that character.
Yeah.
Never comes back. I mean, we don't see what happens to him. I mean, presumably they kill him, but...
Yeah, but we're not done at that auto shop yet, though.
No, but that's not how movies work, man. You can't just leave it dangling there.
Well, I've got kind of a theory on all of this that I'll bring up at the very end. The woman working at the spa tells the detectives that she's never seen Ryan before in her life, that he probably just purchased their products and had them shipped to him. She claims that none of their employees are from Holmesville. She shows them out, and they head to the city morgue. The mortician tells them that the lining of Ryan's stomach, after the autopsy, the lining of Ryan's stomach was eaten away by something corrosive. But he says that Ryan was unnaturally healthy, taking cognitive-enhancing drugs. So that's what they're supposed to do. But when you take too many of them, you melt.
It seems like that would be kind of the thing you'd want to take care of before you put them out on the market, because you're only going to... Okay, everybody knows the pharmaceutical game is repeat customers.
Yeah.
Well, these are vitamins, and they're totally unregulated.
Either way,
yeah,
you want them to buy them again. I don't know.
Well, that's why why their motives are such a big question mark. I don't know what.
It just seems like, I don't know. It's poor business model, I guess.
So, cut back to Paul, back home, taking his vitamin drinks. At this point, I'm like, okay, could somebody goddamn melt already?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We've only had one, and it was only sort of a melt. So
Probably would have melted more if it wasn't for all that detergent he was spraying all over himself.
Yeah. So he goes out to his mailbox and looks inside. He sees visions of the beaten woman and of a leather case full of rib bones. He goes back inside, or does he? And he's back in bed being massaged by the woman. She says that she's been collecting male rib bones, that he's the last one to complete her set. She massages a hole in his abdomen and a rib just kind of slips out of it. The Noble family opened their mail to find a videotape from the health spa. Next door to that is Cheryl and Brian. They still exist. Thanks, movie. Detective Phillips questions Cheryl about the neighbors, and she says that, oh, we just moved here. We don't know any of these people.
Well, so one thing that I do know about this movie is that it was supposed to be like an anthology or a series of short films, like 4 separate short films.
Okay, that was my thing, because I saw in the credits at the end that it was based on 4 short stories. So that's why none of this shit makes sense. They just took 4 completely unrelated things and mashed them all together.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess they ran out of money or something to make 4 separate movies, so they had to make just one.
Smash them up.
Yeah.
So later, Cheryl is getting a checkup, and the doctor tells her that, babies are nothing but parasites, and sends her on her way. Something you want to hear. Yeah, that's what you want to hear.
So what kind of doctor is this? Like, there's so many red flags in here. First of all, the doctor calls a fetus an infant. He called it an infant. I'm like, no doctor would call that an infant. His office, and it has like an examining room in it.
Yeah.
Where he has like the strangest collection of things. I don't know what kind of doctor he is. I'm assuming he's supposed to be like an OBGYN or something. Yeah. But he's got like this random x-ray of a bone on his wall. And then he's got like the cross-section like model of a womb, and then like an eye chart behind his desk. Like, why do you have an eye
stuff.
chart? You know, just
standard doctor stuff.
Just doctor stuff.
Also, I guess eye charts are different in Australia because it wasn't a big E on top. It was a big H.
H, yeah. Why not? It's got to be different.
H. Yeah.
So he sends her on her way. He opens a drawer and takes out his phone out of his desk drawer and calls the woman at the health spa. He tells her that they need to lower the dosage of Cheryl because she's starting to overreact. He says that the drugs are still too unpredictable, as Ryan was able to survive for way too long given the amount that she gave him, and made it all the way to Pebbles Court. So now they got the cops they have to deal with. And they wonder, where'd Sal and Gino go? They were supposed to show up to do their sperm donations.
Oh.
She hangs up on him and calls for her muscle Beauville to come in. And this 8-ton mountain of a man with the voice of a sweet little girl.
Aww.
Yeah.
She sends him to take care of the consignment and distribution and get the drugs out because this doctor isn't playing along.
Was that his real voice, or did they change? Like, did they?
At first, I thought it was his real voice, and then the movie kept going. And the more I listened to it, the more I was like, maybe they're saying something like these guys are like super drugged up, super roided up, and they weren't always.
The other muscle-bound man number 2, he was fine
until when that guy popped up, it ruined my theory. But I was really hoping that there would be some twist that it turned out that all these cookie cutter muscle men all started off as like little girls.
I was hoping that they were all actually like 6 years old.
Yeah, and they turned them into these freaks.
Yeah.
See, that'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. Because, okay, so I went to the Wikipedia because I was starting to get the feeling that this was supposed to be a satire. I mean, I got that it was kind of a dark comedy, but yeah, I was definitely getting the satire vibes. And there was some confirmation there. There was one review that said a dumb/smart satire on health fascism. But like I wasn't really seeing that. I feel like if I was going to make a satire of health culture, like the company would be well-meaning instead of like it seemed like Psychos, and like the body horror would come out of this like extreme health, like weird abnormal muscle growth or like crazy efficient digestive systems, like causing extreme diarrhea or something weird like that.
I got a lot of pangs of like The Stuff from this movie.
I haven't seen The Stuff. haven't seen this stuff.
Okay, well, that's what it reminded me of. Because it's the same thing. It's there's this product that comes out and everyone's obsessed with it and it starts killing people. And go on. I don't want to ruin it for you because it's a better version of this movie. So,
but does it have a kangaroo getting killed by a rock?
No, a puppet kangaroo. The doctor gets a call from his old colleague, and who is it? Well, it's Pud, telling him that he's got Gino. It's all coming together, folks. It seems that Pud and the doctor founded the Vimuville chemical factory way back in the day. Back home, Cheryl gets spooked by an oozing Paul in the window, or was she?
Uh-oh.
Oh. No, she was.
Yeah. That night, she wakes up to go get a refreshing glass of bathroom sink water and sits and listens to her baby with a stethoscope. The next day, the Noble family catches her getting her mail and introduces themselves as they're heading out to the health spa for their vacation. Cheryl goes back inside and starts to unpack, but she starts having sharp pains in the abdomen and drops to the ground. She looks down at the floor to see this pulsating glob on the floor. She calls the doctor and says that she thinks she dropped her placenta a month early and wants him to come over. He says, that's impossible, but I'm on my way. She looks back and the glob's gone. There's just a little stain on the ground. Oh God, here we go again.
Yeah.
This is a fucking sequel to the Suckling John, you son of a bitch.
Who'd have thought there would be two?
So she starts frantically searching the house as the doctor calls Brian and tells him to meet them at their house. Cheryl's stomach appears to start expanding as she throws herself on the bed as the fucking Mortal Kombat music is thumping in the background.
The music was so out of place in this movie.
I hated it. I hated the music in this movie.
She reaches for her ceremonial dagger that she's got on the end table and raises it over her stomach just as Brian disapparates into the room. Where'd he come from? And catches her. The placenta then comes flying out of nowhere and latches onto Brian's face like a face hugger as he desperately fights his way over to Cheryl and manages to get the blade away from her. The placenta rams itself down his throat and chokes him out as Cheryl's stomach bursts open and a geyser of hot air sprays out and the camera zooms in and goes into her disgusting stomach.
When her stomach split open, it reminded me of Christmas Vacation when he cuts into the turkey.
It's such an accurate description.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
So later, the coroners are taking the bodies out, and the detective seems to think that Brian murder-suicide. At this point, I thought Brian was dead, but he's not.
Yeah, he's alive.
They think that Brian killed Cheryl. The detective asks the doctor about Paul, as he's wanted for questioning as well. Well, I guess you shouldn't have let him go, you dumbass. He asked the doctor if there's any viruses that might, follow the taglines of the movie, and if Cheryl was taking any kind of special medication. The doctor denies it, but he says, but you could tell the doctor's kind of worried that this autopsy might find him out. The police drive off with Brian in custody. The doctor heads over to Paul's house because he sees him in the window briefly. He sneaks in the back with a syringe of some chemical and finds Paul staring out the window. He spins him around to see Paul's face is just predatored itself open.
Yeah.
What happened here?
You know what didn't happen? Him melting.
Yeah, there's a disturbing lack of melting in a movie called Body Melt.
Yeah.
It's all been faces so far. It's all been face stuff.
It ain't called face melt, motherfucker.
So he sees this. Paul reaches out and grabs the doctor, but he manages to inject Paul with the chemical, and we cut away. The Nobles arrive at the spa, and they're welcomed by Sean, which is the woman. She introduces them to Demetria, a woman that works there who's going to help them with anything that they need. And Demetria sits them down to eat, and she explains to them that they've engineered all this junk food to have the same nutritional value as healthy food, to get the kids to eat them. And they sit there and gorge on the food as Mr. Noble starts oozing from his nose a little bit. That was goddamn fast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It took Paul like what? It's been like a week now. Even though I'm pretty sure this is all taking place in the same fucking day.
Different dosages.
Yeah.
But then it doesn't happen to the rest of his family. I mean, I don't know.
Well, yeah. So he excuses himself, and in the bathroom he starts sneezing out globs of gunk into the sink. The gunk is sentient as it starts to slither around.
Why is it sentient? Nice. Like, what is that? What is that about? There's no explanation for any of the stuff.
Why did Ryan sprout thing tentacles?
Where's the tentacles? Because they keep showing.
Everybody's different.
Weird. It's like the vampires and Lost Boys. No two of them die the same frickin' way.
But like every time someone's about to have a reaction, they cut to this shot of, it's like a camera going down a flesh tube, real fast.
Yeah.
So it looked like there's supposed to be something inside their bodies that's doing something, but I mean, I thought it was the tentacles, and I thought we'd eventually get an explanation, but no such luck.
Nope. Screw your luck. Meanwhile, in the gym, the kids... the two kids, I can't remember what their names were. They said their names. Eloise Noble and Brandon Noble. They don't seem to be having such a great time here. And why would they? They're kids who are spending their one and only family vacation at a health spa. The son decides he's going to go out to the skate ramp with his rollerblades and gets it on, California game style. He morphs between being a little kid and a full-grown man as he does stunts at a pro level.
Yeah, pro. It was funny though when they show the kid, they have shots of the kid, so they try to make you believe that he's there. But he jumps up in the air and you can see his feet, and he's not even wearing rollerblades. He's wearing like white shoes.
He's doing stunts at a pro level until he doesn't. And lands on his head, presumably killing himself or something. We're going to find out later. That night, everyone's in bed, and no one seems to give a damn that their son is missing.
There's a reasonable explanation.
Yeah.
He went camping.
Yeah, because he made some comment about he was going to sleep under the stars. They said, he's probably sleeping outside somewhere. Don't worry about him. Cut to the son, and oh Lord, it's Hereditary all over again. He's laying there in the middle of the skate ramp with his face just caved in, and he's still alive.
Yeah, he's been out there dying for hours.
No employee saw him, no nothing. Back at Paul's place, the detectives arrive to the new crime scene.
But can I say, what does that have to do with the plot of this movie?
Oh, the kid dying on the skateboard ramp?
It's got nothing to do with anything.
Absolutely nothing.
All
nothing
right, proceed.
It might as well not even. He might as well have not even existed, and they treat it as such later. As the detectives are looking at Paul's exploded face, they notice that he's got a severed ear in his hand. They also find the vial of chemicals that was dropped by the doctor with his name on it. Cut to the doctor, driving like a madman down the highway. Also listening to the Mortal Kombat soundtrack.
Every time they cut to somebody in their car, like this techno music is playing, and I wasn't sure if that was supposed to be what they were listening to or just the music of the movie or what, but I like the idea of this doctor with his ear ripped off, like banging techno real hard in his car.
So yeah, he's got his head bandaged up, he's missing an ear. Back at the spa, the muscle men are all moving the crates around, readying the drug for distribution.
They have this army of muscle men.
They're all dressed exactly the same. They're like giant Oompa Loompas.
I was about to say that.
They have like wraparound shades, and they're all wearing the overalls from Killing American Style. Oh my god.
They're like big roided up minions.
I would prefer that these guys got as popular as Minions did in the cultural zeitgeist. I want to see kids wearing shirts of these guys.
So the main muscle man goes into Sean's office and he asks her, if they could get some more drugs, as they feel that their current dose is too weak. But Jean denies them. And this is where I was starting to think, okay, maybe the high voice is intentional, and that, they all started off as children and morphed into these giant monster people or something. But
right,
it didn't pay off. Jean then pops some pills, and she watches the RoboWar give a breakdown of the noble family's urine analysis, which the animation on the screen for this,
I don't understand that either.
They show the it's pixelated 4 little vials. They all fill up with urine. The sun's overflows for some reason.
Why is it overflowing?
Why do they have the graphics for an overflowing tube of urine?
So strange.
So she calls the doctor and leaves a very incriminating message just out in the open. That guess what? The detectives are in the room to catch.
Right.
They immediately call for a chopper to take out to the health spa. Meanwhile, Muscle Man sneaks into a locked room and steals some pills. In another room, a more different Muscle Man wakes up after sleeping with Demetria, and she leaves him to go get breakfast. And what does he do? Turns on the porno.
Look, what even is Australia? Like,
it's
every
all
time
pornography on TV.
Every time a TV gets turned on down there, it's porno.
So he's sitting there watching it. He pops a vicious boner that subsequently pops itself, exploding and kills him.
This is why they warn you about erections lasting more than 4 hours.
That's why you're not supposed to eat concentrated gluten.
Cut back to the auto yard, where we see Pud sitting down playing that handheld video game classic Game.
Yeah.
God damn, I remember putting hours into Game.
He seems to think that whenever the little plumber inside of it dies, he's actually dead forever. As he plays it once, loses, throws it away, and gets a new one out of this case that he has.
Yeah.
Why does he have a whole box of this thing?
So the doctor arrives there, and Pud reveals that the only reason he and his family are the way they are is because he had the balls to experiment on himself, and that's why they're all fucked up. And then he produces a chemical, and he says that this chemical is the missing ingredient that's making the drug so lethal. So I guess, yeah, the pharmaceutical company thought that this should work. That's why they started sending it out, so that we can see the results and we can sell it as this miracle drug and get rich. But this inbred hillbilly stole the key ingredient decades ago?
Yeah. Well, there's like 1,000 questions now. I don't understand what this drug business has to do with this inbred family, if anything at all.
Just the fact that the father figure founded it.
Somebody used to work there.
Yeah.
Did he erase like all knowledge regarding this additive that would make the drug work?
Apparently.
Knows? And stole all of it?
All of it, as in this little tiny pissant vial of it?
And this was like 20 years ago. It's like somebody stumbled upon a warehouse full of this junk and wanted to sell it, not knowing anything about it.
Oh God! So the doctor then drives off frantically. Back at the spa, the noble family, still ignorant of their son's demise, Tom starts oozing from the nose again, but much more violently this time. Cut to Muscle Man number 1 as he takes those stolen pills before smushing himself on top of Demetria. So is she just passed around amongst the beefcake minions?
It's the only way to keep him in line.
So he jumps on top of her, but he can't control himself and starts to crush her to death as he starts splitting open at the seams.
I don't even really know what happened to him. it's like full screen, just some skin, and it's opening. And
Yeah, like his back opened up.
They're having sex, and he grabs her by the throat, and then when he starts to die, he just crushes her neck because he's Muscle Man.
Yeah.
And then he just kind of dies.
Them buff boys.
So, meanwhile, Sean keeps downing pills frantically, and she's starting to get blurry vision.
Oh, and then, okay, so another thing. So Pud stole this additive 20 years ago. Meanwhile, all these people working here have been taking these drugs for however long, and they've been fine up to this point. Now, all of a sudden, it's starts doing stuff to them.
It's an issue.
When did he steal this stuff?
I don't know, but then you know that it's having this effect, so you just start swallowing pills.
Yeah.
None of this makes any sense.
Out of anxiety? I don't know.
Like, oh God, these pills are killing people. I need to take some more pills. Unless she was hallucinating and thought they were something else.
Well, I don't know if she knew that they were killing people yet.
Yeah, her little cartoon isn't showing her nothing.
Yeah.
Except overflowing urine samples.
Why do you think the detectives are there?
Well, she knew that she gave a deadly dose to that one guy.
Yeah, to Ryan.
Oh, I guess you're right. All right. Still, okay, slippery bastards.
It's still madness.
Cut to Tom Noble, who slips on his snot and wish-upons himself in the bathtub.
Yeah, I figured you would be happy about that one.
He lays on the ground unconscious, just pouring foamy glop from his face. His wife walks in to find him just a lump pile of just mess. Finally, we get a melt, kind of.
Right.
Finally.
She runs off screaming and finds her daughter. Her daughter runs to get help from Sean, but when she finds her, she too is melting away. All right, they're going to cram all the meltings into the last 10 minutes of this movie.
Yeah, literally, we are in the last 10 minutes of the movie at this point.
So Sean turns around and she's melting, and she starts saying the lines that she said from the infomercial because she's going crazy. And the daughter just slaps her.
I would have loved it if her just head caved in on the slap.
It just kind of deflates like a balloon. So then she and her mother run out to the car, again, completely abandoning their son.
Fuck him.
Yeah.
Probably,
they don't know he's
melted.
dead.
They don't know that he's dead. The son might as well have not even existed. They drive off. The doctor has just arrived, and he's trying to stop him from getting away. He dives out of the way of the speeding car and opens fire on him with a gun that he has now.
But why is he shooting at people?
It's like the dog in The Thing. You got to kill. They're getting away. They're infected. I guess they can spread. I don't know. Mom and daughter Noble arrive at some doctor's office, and they go in and they demand to see the doctor, and they tell him that they have to get to Vemuville right away. And the doctor, oh, son of a bitch, the doctor's all, oh, you mean that place up on the hill? That place closed down 20 years ago. Ooh.
When he said that,
fuck you.
When he said that, I audibly said, "Oh shit!" It totally got me.
This
Scooby-Doo
Scooby-Doo nonsense.
We'll have something to investigate.
God damn it. So just then, Mom starts to choke and gag, and her tongue swells up to the size of a frickin' salmon and chokes her to death. All in front of a toddler who happens to be in the office.
And nobody even tried to shield the toddler.
This whole family is just sitting there watching it. The toddler just gets to see everything.
Yeah, it's like the old man from Home Alone and this toddler.
Yeah.
So, back at the spa.
I dug that part, by the way. I liked the big tongue thing. That was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah. Back at the spa, the doctor pokes around in Sean's melted head when the detectives get the drop on him. He shouts at them, jowls quivering away, that if the formula was correct, the possibilities would be unimaginable. And then he shoots himself in the hand for some reason, and then shoots himself in the head.
Yeah, I don't know what's did he feel no pain? Was he superhuman somehow? I don't know. It did say that when he was talking to Pud that that there's some element of it that worked, and that Pud has super hearing.
Yeah. Who do you think you owe your superhuman hearing to? Because he could tell what kind of car the doctor was driving before he arrived there.
Yeah.
A very important bit to the movie. The pill machines are all shut down. All the assets are seized by the authorities. Detective Phillips gets a call that the quarantine of Pebbles Court is in full effect. They're all dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Threat's over with.
The daughter is the only one that survived, and I have to assume she's going to die too because she ate the food.
Exactly.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I meant to go back and watch that scene again because I think she was complaining about the food. She may not have eaten it.
Oh, maybe not. Okay, well, they quarantined the daughter, the only person to survive. But unfortunately, Brian has gone full-on nasty in Philip's office, and he's spraying shit all over the precinct. So get back down here right away. Back at the precinct, everything's covered in just glop.
Green snot all over the precinct.
Snot all over the place. Brian is pinned against the wall in agony with another cop trapped in there with him. His cheeks start to swell up, which caused the cop to faint. Brian collapses dead on the floor. It was really
anticlimactic.
Exactly.
It was the last...
I was hoping to see a melt.
A full-on body melt. Give me one.
Like, the worst one possible.
Yeah.
Just have Brian just, like, splatter all over the place. But no, he just kind of falls down. Then the mortician just kind of strolls in with his goddamn shirt that he's wearing just to make a stupid joke about the shirt. He's wearing this tie-dye shirt. He walks in and he sees Brian all melted on the floor. Oh, looks like he's wearing my shirt.
He's one of those classic wacky movie morticians.
Yeah.
And he absolutely loves what's going on right now with all these deaths. He tells the detective, you should take some aspirin so we can end on this lighthearted, like, sitcom laugh together note or something. Cut to that gas station from the beginning where Phillips goes in to get some aspirin for his partner. We warp over to the medicine rack to see the Vimuville vitamins on the shelf ready for sale. Credits.
I'm so glad that one's over.
It was far from the worst thing that we've watched, but I was really hoping for some body melting.
It had potential, because if they would have just been melting bodies the whole movie, it would have been fine. Porn and all.
Yeah, I wish they would have leaned harder into the satire element.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's like they started making one movie and then pivoted after the first act and just went off on a completely different. But again, it was because it was based on a bunch of short stories. I believe what John said. I think they ran out of money.
Could be.
So we just got to cram all this shit together. We already shot a bunch of it.
We're out of money. Anybody's got a kangaroo suit?
Oh, Lord. And Pud was the Knight Rider from Mad Max.
Yeah.
Because as soon as he started screaming, I recognized the screaming voice. I said, that's the dude from Mad Max.
There was a shot of the two kids driving down the road, and I was just like, damn, that's Mad Max right there. Like the the road and the scenery and everything. It was just like, I don't know if that's everywhere in Australia or if they just happen to be driving down the same road that Mad Max was driving down. But
oh, man. So there's body melt. Let's do some questions.
Yes.
And I'm not confident about this one.
Yeah, I'm definitely concerned.
Not confident at all. So the current standing with one movie down is me in the lead with 4 points and John with 1.
That ain't good.
I think he's going to catch up.
All right, well.
So here we go.
Like I said, this movie was made for me. Because there was so much shit just going on in the background that, that's pretty much all the questions. So, question number 1. How much did a hot dog cost at the Road Pantry?
Yes.
And just because I like the Road Pantry so much, what were the hours at the Road Pantry?
Come on.
Question number 3. What is the zip code in Holmesville? I'll give you a little bit of a tip. It's only 4 numbers.
Shit.
Question number 4. How many people died from quote-unquote melting?
That's...
And question number 5. Everybody should have gotten this one. How many tablets come in a bottle of vitamins? It was the last thing you see on screen. It was huge, front and center.
I had given up paying attention to anything long before the final scene.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I got all this other shit, and you skipped, like, you went from, like, the very beginning of the movie to the very end of the movie for your fucking question.
Pretty much. All right, so here we go. Question number 1. How much did a hot dog How much did a hot dog cost at the road pantry?
I'm going to say 50 cents.
85 cents.
It was 85 cents.
Yeah.
What were the hours at the road pantry?
7 to 9.
24/7.
24/7.
I was going to say 24/7. I said, what the fuck? The hot dog stands open 24/7.
What is the zip code in Holmesville?
I only know one zip code. I don't know if it was the Holmesville zip code. It was 3198.
I don't know. I don't have a guess.
3333.
Oh, come on. I don't have that in my notes anywhere. I didn't.
It was on some of their mail.
Okay.
So all that bullshit about his ID was just all total horse shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw that ID, I said, those dudes are going to take frantic notes on that ID. How many people died from quote-unquote melting?
2.
Now, let me clarify. Even
You
though
can clarify
they may
after we've done the answers.
No. I'm going to give you a chance because I can see how it could be misleading. I'm not talking about people who actually melted. I'm talking about people who died from the medicine as opposed to other causes. Whether they fully melted or not, I was kind of making a play on how they didn't all melt, even though they should have. So how many people died due to the medicine, not natural cause, or not natural, other causes, we'll call it. Does that clarify things or no?
Yeah.
Okay. So how many people died from quote unquote melting?
9.
Yeah, I'm arriving at 9 too.
It was 9.
Oh man.
I'm glad I cleared that up because I started to realize how that might be misleading. And how many tablets came in a bottle of vitamins?
I just guessed 30.
I'm going to say 50.
It was 45.
Damn.
Oh. Well, John, we did the exact opposite.
I know.
You got 4, I got 1.
Very nice.
We're tied up 5-5.
No,
Like,
John got
I
3.
got 3. I got 3.
I got you getting 4.
No.
Oh yeah, you didn't get the zip code.
No.
Yeah, he got 3.
Yeah, 3. Okay.
Still, it's anybody's game now at this point.
I mean, yeah.
That was all I wanted, was to not make it a wash.
Close the gap a bit, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You're definitely back in it, John.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Oh, damn it.
Well, it would have been boring if you'd just completely blown me out of the water.
Yeah.
I agree. I was halfway tempted to send John the answers.
As soon as I saw all the nonsense in the background of those first couple scenes, I knew there was no way.
Yeah, I definitely took everything at the road pantry. I had notes on.
Yeah.
Drink was 75 cents, hot dog 85, burger 95.
Yeah. You see, I have to take so many goddamn notes as it is. If I took all those notes too, it would take me 9 hours to watch this fucking movie.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I had notes on like what was on the desktop of everyone's computers and stuff. Like,
oh yeah, like the forbidden icon.
Yeah. Forbidden.
Yeah.
Maybe it should be on the fucking desktop.
All right then. What's in next for us?
Yeah,
John.
yeah.
Is it Debbie Does Dallas or?
We're gonna be watching Deep Throat. No, I'm kidding.
Come on.
It's The Nest from 1988.
Okay.
It's 87 minutes. It's got a 4 on Amazon, a 5.3 on IMDb, and a 27% audience rating on Rotten Tomatoes. It's directed by Terrence Winkless.
Winkless.
The synopsis: a small island is overrun by mutated cockroaches thanks to some genetic experimentation by the local chemical company. It's up to the island's sheriff and exterminator to stop the menace before these flesh-eating insects reach the mainland.
I'm gonna be itching the whole time I watch this fucking movie, man.
Taglines. There's one of these I'm taking with a grain of salt, but it's up on IMDb, so... roaches have never tasted flesh until now. The terror has hatched. And why is the cheese moving?
We'll have to wait for that one.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. I love there's a little piece of trivia. I love the way it's worded. The studio this film was shot in was plagued with cockroaches for several years after this movie had wrapped. The piece of trivia: the cockroaches used in the film were plucked off the streets, as though they were just like naive Midwest cockroaches, like just off the coast of Hollywood.
Hey, son, you want to make $20?
The hard way?
Yeah.
Some reviews. Scary, but too gross. Best killer roach flick still to this day. And a silly waste of film stock.
Right.
So it's going to be The Nest. This one is... There's a YouTube version. It's a little dark. I started to check it out, so I don't know. If you guys want to rent it on Amazon, I'll like Venmo you the money or something. But, yeah, it's on YouTube.
Oh, I've seen the cover to this in Movie Trading Company. As I go in and I peruse old used DVDs, I've seen this The Nest, and it's got this giant cockroach attacking this woman.
Yeah.
I've seen this.
Yeah.
Never did I knew I would be watching it someday.
I'll just watch the dark copy.
Welcome to hell. Yeah. Yeah, probably I will do.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not too dark where I can't see the porn in it, John, but, you know.
Hopefully, I'm keeping my fingers crossed because I've got enough shit already. I don't need to worry about porn being in everything I pick.
All right.
There's an easy way to find out. You just have to look at the parents' guide.
Oh.
No nudity.
Boom! I did it.
I did it. I found one.
I found one trashy movie that doesn't have nudity in it.
I think John was like, I need to throw him off my scent for a little while.
This one was a recommendation from my boy Trevor Henderson. He's a cool guy. Likes a lot of horror stuff.
Okay.
This isn't another alias for you, is it?
No.
Yeah,
no.
it is. John's got fake accounts everywhere.
Yeah, I'm just sending myself recommendations left and right.
It would be something you would do.
Should we look at some plot keywords?
I looked at them. There's nothing too fun in there for the plot keywords.
Nature run amok. Gunshot. Loss of father. Female scientist.
Here we go.
Why bother? What difference does it make?
Long Johns. Animal's point of view.
Long John's is pretty funny.
Bare-chested male.
Here we go.
Now we're talking.
Right.
Oh, lordy. Worldwide gross, 3.7 million.
That sucks.
Trivia. Various crew members, as well as friends and family of Terrence Winkless, appears extras throughout the movie. When you got to pad the movie with your family.
Classic.
Well, they got the cockroaches for free by getting them off the streets. They got free actors by getting his family. He's just working in a budget.
Shot in 25 days.
Damn. Shit. The one we just watched. What was the one we just watched?
Body Melt.
Body Melt?
Yep.
That was filmed in 30 days. So there you go.
We're just comparing the shooting schedules of movies now.
Well, shows you how much time it takes to make shit.
That's not even including post-production.
There's apparently 2 explosions in the movie that are both stock footage from humanoids from the deep. Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right.
I think
Looking forward to it.
Should be a fun one, I think.
Yeah. Like Blake said, I'm hoping this thing's gonna end on a much more palatable note.
Yeah.
What does that mean? It's Vomit Comet, y'all.
I'm fine with that, but both movies haven't lived up yet.
That's true. Body Melt was a big disappointment for me. I was expecting way more melt.
Honestly, I don't even blame you for Body Melt, because with a name like Body Melt, you figured that's the home run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I can't blame you for that.
It was gross. It had some gross stuff for sure.
But it did. Nobody melted. I was expecting just everybody to be melting.
Yeah. Not enough melt. Way too much scrotum.
Heavy on the body, light on the melting.
So, yeah. And, suckling, we don't even need to say.
Oh, that was part of the Vomit Comet. That was gross.
Shame on you, John.
Gross.
Making fathers and sons ride in awkward silence.
Yeah. I do feel guilty about that. But I know, like, the last movie of the month is going to deliver, you guys. I promise.
Okay.
So,
building it up. We'll have to see. Oh, Christ. All right. Well, I'd like to thank everybody that's been listening. You can drop us a review on iTunes. We would very much appreciate that. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Garbage Theater. You can find us on Instagram at Garbage_Theater. You have a movie that you want to pick out for us to watch, we'll watch it. We've been watching several of them from fan picks. Send it to our social media channels or email us directly at garbagetheaterpodcast@gmail.com. Final thoughts on Body Not So Much.
I just wish there was more melting.
Again, I have to stop asking this question because it's the same thing every time.
Yeah, I think
keep asking it.
Keep asking it so we can have our weird, awkward silence at the end of the show. Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I'm with Blake. Not enough body melting.
Yeah, if special month movies were in the running for awards, this would get a Buffalo Rider award.
Yeah. Absolutely. So that's it, folks. We're over the hump. We're halfway through the Vomit Comet.
We're over the hump, but apparently all the humping has just started, according to John's movies.
Just bear with us. We're gonna get through it. We'll be back to some normalcy around here.
We'll get back to bad action movies next season.
Yeah, more Steven Seagal and Van Damme's coming. Don't worry.
I just want to go back to the wholesome days of Sasquatch penis.
Those halcyon
Those
days.
tame days. All right. So we will see you all next time when we watch The Nest. See you then, folks.